when President Kennedy spoke about doing a nuclear test ban treaty, and even more than that, about having respect for Russia and Russian culture and challenging us as Americans and how we think about Russia, can you compare that to our world leaders, our leaders today in this country, and how they're potentially risking a nuclear war in three places you outlined?
Absolutely. We not only do not show respect for our counterparts, we show open hostility and I would say trash talking. Uh, I refer to three counterparts. First, to Russia. The narrative about Russia that Putin is the new Hitler, that there's no talking to Putin, that war is the only way to protect Ukraine, is all warmongering propaganda of the military industrial complex. It is false. It doesn't pass the test of any historical accuracy or scrutiny. Uh, what has happened is that the United States decided that it was the sole superpower and didn't have to listen to anybody else. And with regard to Russia, it violated every single interest of Russia repeatedly from the 1990s onward. I happen to know this at a personal level because I was an economic advisor to President Gorbachev and to President Yeltsin. They wanted peace and they wanted cooperation. But we said, no, we will run the world, thank you. We will overthrow your allies, whether in Serbia or in Syria or in Iraq or in Libya. We will unilaterally abandon treaties like the Anti-Ballistic Missile Treaty or the Intermediate Nuclear Force Treaty, the INF Treaty that Trump left. We will expand NATO contrary to our commitment. We will overthrow regimes in your neighborhood, like we did with Yanukovych in February 2014. We will arm adversaries on your borders. And what are we doing at a human level? We are canceling performances by Russian artists. We are canceling concerts by Russian composers. We are banning the teaching of great Russian novels. It's unimaginable how wrong this approach is in every single way. Kennedy made peace through respect, even at the height of the Cold War. We don't have respect. We have trash talking by Biden, which is a shame of an American president. A shame. Just, he should watch his mouth because he does not behave like he should. Then we have disrespect for the Arab countries the same way. We lie in every way. We wring our hands as 37,000 people die, but we don't do anything to stop the mass killing at all in Gaza. And with regard to China, which has had a remarkable success in raising the living standards of the Chinese people, and incidentally hasn't been in one war for more than 40 years, as we've been in perpetual war, we do nothing but trash talk China. How it's a failure, how its economy will go down, how it's in crisis, how it's warmongering, how it's a danger, how it's a threat to the world. It's vulgar. I go to China several times a year and have done so for decades. And our propaganda is laughable if it were not so troubling. And Biden is part of this as well. So I do not have any admiration for how we're handling things. We're making everything far more dangerous than it should be and needs to be. We could negotiate peaceful relations in all three regions instantly. We could end the war in Ukraine in a day. by declaring that NATO will never enlarge to Ukraine, that this was a bad idea, it was a broken promise, it was a danger to Russia. We have to find a different way to have security in the region, so-called collective security, not security at the expense of Russia for Ukraine. And this could lead to a diplomatic outcome. We can end the war in the Middle East by recognizing the state of Palestine, as the UN Security Council and UN General Assembly have called for. And we can end the conflict with China by simultaneously saying we're not going to arm Taiwan, we're not going to get into internal Chinese affairs, but we appeal to China's best interests and the world's best interests for peaceful relations across the Straits of Taiwan. And that will occur as long as the US isn't provoking a conflict by shipping massive armaments to Taiwan. So we have a foreign policy based on war and belligerency, and lo and behold, we continue to approach midnight on the doomsday clock.